Tomodachi Life regional version differences. Just as an FYI, I am comparing the American, European, and Japanese copies because those are the copies that I have. Alright, let's do this. The American and Japanese version of the Mii wanting to play will show the icon of their arm sticking out. However, the European version will show the arm bent. However, the American and European versions will have the same jumping animation, with the Japanese one having this animation. You could tell why it was changed. When you zoom in on a Mii and see them playing with their face, they'll say that they're practicing funny faces in the American and European versions. The Japanese one, they said they're practicing winking faces and they'll occasionally wink to the player. Also, the embarrassed blushing in the American and European versions will just be on the cheeks. With the Japanese version, it shows it in a more anime style. Food exclusivity varies vastly in all the different regions, and there's too many to count, so I'll just name a few examples. Some include the Loco Moco, popcorn shrimp, fancy cupcake, and milkshake for the American version, borscht, beans on toast, disgusting, bread with chocolate spread, and sparkling water for the European version, and konnyaku, school lunch, curry pan, and $3 dango for the Japanese version. Food exclusivity can overlap between regions too, such as the bubble tea appearing in both the American and Korean versions. And some food items are excluded from certain regions, such as the handmade chocolate being in every single version except for the American one. Foods can also don new looks in other regions, such as the European version not having cotton candy like the American would. Instead, it's candy floss, and it's white instead of pink. Oh, and some foods shifted categories too, such as the cheeseburger being a side dish in the Japanese version when it's a main dish in the American and European versions. And to wrap up the food facts, in the Japanese version, the Miis will say "itadakimasu" right before eating their food, and they'll wipe their mouth with one hand. Miis in the American and European versions don't do that. They just scarf the food down and wipe their mouth with both hands. The kite, metal detector, and skateboard aren't on the list of gifts you can give to the Miis in the Japanese version. A Mii in love in the American or European version will be surrounded by pink hearts. In the Japanese version, gray moyo moyo clouds will surround them instead. Miis who have been rejected from forgiveness or love confession in the American or European version will have a rain cloud pouring on them, both in their apartment and on the little icon on the bottom screen. The Japanese version will use purple Hitodama spirits for both icons. This also rings true for travelers as well. When the Mii is confessing their love in the classroom, the door behind them will just close automatically in the American and European versions. However, in the Japanese one, you can see the Mii actually manually closing the door. I know I said I was only going to compare my 3 copies, but I had to include the Korean exclusive blind dates because I was already on the topic of love comparisons. Huge shout out to Plastic Knight for this footage, and sorry if I'm using it without your permission or if you wanted credit, here you go. This event is very similar to the undercover setting up event for the other versions with 4 different locations to choose from. I'll put a link to the original video in the description.